Ever get chills listening to those air traffic control conversations in movies?
It's like a secret code, right?
It is.
I'm
And
what?
today, we're decoding that language of the skies. Trust me, it's way more interesting than you might think.
Oh, absolutely.
We're diving deep into excerpts from international standards and recommended practices and procedures for air navigation services,
Wow.
specifically Annex 10, Volume 2. It's basically the rule book for how everyone in aviation, I'm talking pilots, control towers, even message relay stations, talks to each other.
It's all about keeping things running smoothly up there.
Exactly. Because let's be real, one misheard word, one wrong number up at 30,000 feet, that could mean, well, serious trouble.
Absolutely. And what's so fascinating about this document is that it's not just some random rule book. It actually represents a global effort to make the skies safer. It's published by ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization.
They're like the United Nations, but for aviation.
Exactly. They set the standards for everything.
Wow.
And get this document has been around for a while. We're talking standards that have been evolving since 1950.
1950. Wow. That's like almost as old as aviation itself.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it. From Morse code and teleprinters to the sophisticated systems we have today, this document has seen it all.
So we've got this massive, globally agreed upon rulebook for aviation communication, and it's been around for ages. Where do we even begin our deep dive with something like this?
Well, I think a good place to start is with a communication system that actually predates the internet as we know it, the AFTN.
The what?
The AFTN, the Aeronautical Fixed Telecommunication Network.
The AFTN. Okay, that sounds kind of like some Cold War spy stuff.
It kind of is. It's like the original internet, but just for aviation.
Okay, so before emails and instant messaging and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine a global network of teletypewriters buzzing away with flight plans, weather reports, you name it, anything vital being transmitted around the world.
So they had their own version of the internet, just up in the air. That's wild. But how did this aviation internet actually work?
Well, the document goes into great detail about a system of, well, strict message formatting with specific codes and abbreviations for everything.
Because when you're dealing with situations up in the air, there's really no room for error.
Exactly. There's no room for misinterpretation, no time for long-winded messages. Everything had to be clear, concise, and instantly understandable.
So it wasn't like pilots were just, casually typing out messages to each other. This was serious business. It's like sending a telegram, but with, like, way higher stakes.
Exactly. And the document actually lays out all the different categories of messages that could be sent through the AFTN.
Okay.
You had your distress messages, obviously,
Of course.
urgency messages, messages about flight safety, even meteorological messages. And each one had a special code to show how important it was.
Okay, so it's like a triage system for messages in the sky.
Precise.
Code red. We've got a problem.
Well, they weren't exactly colors.
Right.
But yeah, they were short, two-letter indicators,
Okay.
SS for distress,
Okay.
DD for urgency,
Got it.
FF for flight safety, that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
And this made sure that the most urgent messages,
Yeah.
jumped to the front of the line no matter how much traffic the AFTN was handling.
It's like even back then, they understood the importance of a good notification system. Were there any other rules for these AF? That's such a good point. Because even today, right, it's all about getting information quickly and efficiently. That need for clarity has been a constant, even as the technology changes.
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The AFTN wasn't just for messages about airplanes, you see.
Nope.
They also had what were called service messages.
Service messages, what are those?
These messages were used for behind-the-scenes communication.
Interesting.
Imagine all the chatter in a busy restaurant, kitchen chefs shouting orders, servers calling out tables, the manager making sure everything's running smoothly.
Got it.
The AFTN had its own version of this to make sure the whole network was running smoothly.
So it's like this whole other language working behind the scenes to keep those messages flying around the world?
Exactly.
Did the document say what eventually happened to the AFTN?
Yeah, it did. The AFTN eventually evolved into what we know as the ATN, the Aeronautical Telecommunication Network,
Okay.
which is basically a more modern digital system.
Makes sense.
But both of those were mainly about text-based communication. The document also covers something much more familiar, something you've definitely heard in countless movies, radio telephony.
Yes, those classic radio calls
Exactly.
between pilots and air traffic control.
But it's not just pilots grabbing a microphone and chatting freely.
Right.
The document is very clear. Even with spoken communication, there are very specific protocols to follow.
I bet, especially when the stakes are so high. So what are some of the key rules for speaking, like pilot?
Well, for starters, they use a specific phonetic alphabet to make sure they're understood.
Oh, right.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie instead of ABC.
Instead of ABC, right?
It helps avoid confusion, especially when you've got a staticky radio connection.
Oh, yeah. Because B could easily be confused with, like, D or E over a bad connection. It's like those, did you say 15 or 50 moments?
Exactly.
But with, much higher stakes.
Exactly. And it's not just letters. Even numbers have a specific way of being said.
Really?
For instance, when a pilot is reporting their altitude, they say each digit separately.
So instead of saying 10,000 feet, it's 100,000 feet.
Precisely.
Wow.
It seems a bit much at first glance.
It does, yeah.
But when you think about it,
Right.
it minimizes the risk of any misunderstanding.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's not all just rigid rules. There are some interesting exceptions. When transmitting altitudes or even cloud heights that are whole hundreds or thousands, they actually get to say the whole number.
So you're saying there are exceptions to the exceptions.
Well, not exactly exceptions to the exceptions, but
Okay.
more like specific cases where saying the full number is actually clearer.
So it's 2,000 feet, not 2,000 feet.
Exactly. It's fascinating, really, this blend of rules and exceptions,
Yeah.
all designed to make communication as crystal clear as possible.
It's amazing, how much thought goes into something that seems so simple on the surface.
It really is.
You'd never guess, just listening to a recording, how much precision is in every word, every number.
And it goes beyond just how they're speaking, too.
Yeah.
The document even covers specific phrases that they use for different situations.
Yeah.
You've probably already heard of Mayday, right?
Yeah, of course, who hasn't?
But have you ever heard of PAN?
Pan? That sounds more like like a delicious breakfast dish than an aviation term.
Right. But it's actually another distress call.
Oh.
But there's a subtle difference between Mayday and PAN.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Mayday is for, well, those really heart-stopping moments.
Yeah.
Grave and imminent danger, like engine failure or a fire on board.
The big ones.
Exactly. PAN is more for, urgency.
Urgency.
Where safety might be threatened, but it's not quite at a life or death situation yet.
Okay, so Mayday is we're going down, and Pan is we've got a problem, we need some help here.
Exactly, you got it. And the document's very clear there's a strict etiquette surrounding these phrases. Like, when a pilot transmits Mayday, or even Pan, all other chatter on that frequency has to stop.
Okay.
It's like hitting the mute button on every other conversation happening in the air.
Wow. Those words really command attention. But it makes sense, right? I mean, you don't want any distractions when you're dealing with an emergency.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just what to say, too. There are specific protocols for how to respond, how to relay the information, how to coordinate assistance. It's like a carefully choreographed dance. But instead of music, it's radio waves saving the day.
That's one way to put it. This is all so fascinating, though. Like, you'd never know how much goes on behind the scenes to keep those planes in the air.
It's really quite amazing when you think about it.
I feel like I should be taking notes here.
And just when you think it can't get any more fascinating, the document throws in this other little nugget about communication technology.
Okay.
Remember pagers?
Oh, yeah. Blast from the past. I remember when those are like the coolest thing.
Well, airplanes have their own version of a pager. It's called SELCAL, selective calling.
Oh, Cal.
And it's basically this system that lets air traffic control reach a specific aircraft without having to make a general call to everyone.
So kind of like a personalized ringtone, but for airplanes?
Exactly. So they don't miss important messages, even with all the other chatter going on.
That is brilliant. It really highlights how they were using technology even back then to solve very specific challenges.
It does. And speaking of technology, the document also hints at where things are headed in the future, with this system called CPDLC, Controller Pilot Data Link Communications.
CPDLC. Another acronym. What's that one all about?
Well, imagine a system where pilots and controllers aren't actually speaking to each other,
Okay.
but sending text-based messages back and forth.
Texting with air traffic control. That sounds incredibly modern.
It is. That's data link. Instead of voices crackling over the radio, we're moving toward a world where computers are talking to each other.
Oh.
CPDLC allows for specific instructions, clearances, even weather updates to be transmitted in a standardized format.
So a computer can understand it.
Exactly, minimizing that risk of misinterpretation.
So less, did you say 15 or 50?
Yeah,
And more. The number's right there on the screen.
precisely.
I like it.
And CPDLC often works in conjunction with another system mentioned in the document, ADSC, Automatic Dependent Surveillance Contract.
ADSC. Okay, what does that one do?
So we've got CPDLC for two-way communication, right?
Right.
ADSC is all about tracking. Real-time tracking. It's like each plane has its own GPS tracker, and it's constantly beaming its position, altitude, speed back to air traffic control.
That's like they combined texting and GPS for airplanes.
Right?
Wow. They really have thought of everything.
They have. And what's amazing is the document suggests that as these systems continue to evolve, they'll be able to work together seamlessly.
Wow.
Imagine, air traffic control, less about verbal communication and more about managing this constant stream of data from hundreds of aircraft.
That is a whole new world of aviation communication.
It really is.
It's incredible, really, how far we've come from those days of teletypewriters and Morse code to this world of data streams and, digital communication.
We've come a long way.
But you know what? Through it all, one thing has remained constant: the importance of clear, concise, unambiguous communication to keep everyone safe.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's like this silent symphony that happens every day, this dance of technology and human skill, keeping the world connected.
What a thought-provoking way to look at it. It really makes you appreciate this whole invisible world of aviation communication that most people take for granted.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So next time you're on a flight and you hear that click of the intercom and the pilot's voice comes on, remember this: there's an incredible history behind those words and this unseen technology all working together to get you safely to your destination. It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
Until next time, keep exploring. You never know what you might discover.